Hello my Shadow Clan, Shadow What If, here to bring you part 2 to What If female Deku was the mother of all vampires. Now where we last left off is Momo finding the coordinates to finding Rose. But she has to figure out what all the numbers and letters are. Now, as we come to a few months after that, Momo has finally figured out what the numbers and letters mean. As she figured it out, Transylvania 1962. As she thought, wait, Transylvania 1962? As she prepares a vacation, is what she tells her parents, to Transylvania, as they allow her to go. And as she gets to Transylvania, she's asked multiple people about the numbers 1962 when she came across a particularly young maiden, as she surprised Momo, as the maiden asks, "What are you doing here?" As Momo simply says, I'm trying to figure out what the numbers 1962 mean. As she recognizes the book and says, "Oh, that's the code to get in Mother's chamber." As Momo says, "Mother's chamber?" As she says, "Yeah." As she says, "Yeah, the vampire clan was created by Count Dracula, but Mother is the mother of all vampires. She is the most powerful. And it's said that she cannot be killed by anything." As Momo says, yeah, I know, it says in the book." As the maiden says, "Follow me." As an hour and a half later, they get to a relatively well-kept mansion in the woods. As Momo sees the insignia on the gate and recognizes it as the coven she was born into. But the maiden says, this is the birthplace of the coven you were born in, and yours is the eldest ones as well. And we figured out how to make a vampire die without actually dying. As Momo asks, "What are you talking about?" You see, if you drain a vampire of their blood without giving them a chance to heal, if you drain a vampire of almost all of their blood and don't give them any blood to replenish and heal, they will go into a sort of sleep stasis until another elder who has full sense of time awakes them again. And that's what the elders of your coven did a few centuries after Mother went into her stasis. As Momo's just looking amazing, she asks, the elders of the coven knew Mother? As the maiden simply goes, yes. Come along, we have a long way to go. As by this time, the people who didn't leave the birthplace of Rose's coven kept up to date with the times, so modern clothing, weapons as well. And some of the maidens have also gathered some of the clothes for Rose if she's ever awakened. As by this time they're walking through the mansion, as Momo stops to look at a few maidens that were drinking blood out of a wine glass. As the maiden said, those maidens are only a few centuries old, so yeah, they wouldn't have met Mother. They wouldn't have met the Mother. But me, I was the first ever maiden for Mother. I was her best friend. As Momo replies, saying, really? As she simply replies as, yes. By the way, I never got your name. Oh, my name's Momo. Momo Yasurozu. Nice to meet you, Momo. I am Ruby. As Momo goes, oh, nice to meet you, Ruby. Same to you, Momo. As they stop in front of a big door. As Ruby simply says, we're here. Now, this is an ancient door for something this modern. As Ruby just replies saying, yeah. As she grabs a lock and puts in the numbers 1962 and the door opens. As she leads Momo down all the way to a well-made bed with Rose just laying on there with her arms crossed. As Momo is just very surprised that the mother of all vampires only looks her age. As Ruby says, what a sight, isn't it, to see Mother. Now, there's only one small problem. As Momo asks, what's the problem? To wake her, we need Dracula's blood or a descendant of his to awake her. As Ruby looks at Momo with a very innocent smile, as Momo got a little unnerved by this, as a few of the other vampires grab her, put a cut on her arm, and drizzled her blood into Ruby's mouth as the blood slowly dripped down her throat, and she slowly started breathing as she just started levitating off the ground. Oh no, off the bed, still in her sleeping state, as she opens her eyes and they're crimson red. As she looks at Momo and to the other vampires, saying, "Release her." As they do, because they do not want to mess with Rose. As she walks over to Momo, looks at the cut, saying, "So it's your blood that awaked me." As Momo says, "Yes. How long has it been?" As Momo's just shocked that Rose has asked her a question. As she simply says, "I wasn't asking you, child." As Ruby says, "Now, I didn't give a particular time when Rose went into her sort of hibernation, but Ruby says it's been 5 centuries, ma'am." No, 5 centuries, mother. And she says, What of Dracula, my son?" As Ruby just gets sad and saying, 2 centuries after you went into hibernation, your son Dracula was slain by the holy knights, which have now turned into the Holy Alliance. And because this young child's standing in front of us, and her blood's managed to wake me, I presume he managed to get off a few offspring, if I shall call it. Ruby says, "Yes, mother." Ruby, give this young child some blood for her to heal, and bring me the close of this era. As Ruby says, "Yes, mother," and hushes Momo to the blood stash, and took a modern dress to Rose, and she put it on as she asked Ruby, "What has become of the coven?" And she says, "Oh, some of the elders of the coven figured out how to put themselves into your sort of hibernation by getting rid of their blood, and not by getting rid of a good amount of their blood without drinking blood in return. And only another elder's blood can awake them. And one of the elders who didn't go into the hibernation Oh, they moved to Japan a few centuries after you went into hibernation and after Dracula fell. Hmm. And what of my wealth? As Momo just shocked by this, and as Ruby simply replies, "Oh, we still remain. Oh, mother, your last name. Oh, you still, even to this day, you still remain the unknown richest person in the world." So, what's your name, child? As she turns to Momo, Momo says, "My name's Momo Yazuozu." As Rose can sense the fear from Momo, saying, Don't be scared. Don't be scared, my child. I am your mother, after all. I won't hurt you unless you make me mad, okay?" As this eases Momo up a little bit, as she says, "Yes, mother." Now, Momo, can you please go into depths of this era's transportation and what its people can do? As Momo explains, and Rose has gotten it very quickly. She goes, interesting. So humans can fly now in planes and drive around in cars. As Rose said, we also have a private plane for your mother. I asked some of the guards to get ready because I have a feeling you would want to retake control of the coven after you were awakened, ma'am. Mother. As she simply says, "Yes, I'll take control of this coven. I'll retake control of my coven." As Ruby then says, "Of course, Mother, but I forgot to mention something." What is it? What is it, Ruby? After you went into hibernation... No, I was about to explain the whole bloody thing again I did in part 1, where after the Lycan self, the vampires... a few of the vampires and Lycans split off around the world. Yeah, I'm stupid. Yeah, I was about to explain that again, but yeah, scratch all that. As well as... Ruby, can you get transportation ready to take us to the airport? While I talk to young Momo here about these things called quirks. As she says, "Right away, Mother," and goes off to get transportation ready. As Momo explains how quirks work, saying, interesting. So what you're saying is that humans have evolved to gain these quirks to give them superpowers. Interesting. And what of vampires? Can they get these quirks? She says, "No. I am the eldest of my siblings. My parents have tried to get a child with a quirk, but that never worked. I'm saddened. But we have on record of a half-human, half-vampire with a quirk. As this intrigues Rose, saying, "Really? Really?" And she says, "Yes. Her name is Himiko Toga. And as far as we're aware, she lives in a level E section of Japan." Level E section of this? No, not of Japan, of the city. So humans have, thanks to the Holy Alliance, have become aware of vampires and lichens. Yes. Yes, mother. Interesting. Come on, Momo. We have to go. We have to go home. As she goes, "Yes, mother," and quickly follows her as she asks, "Mother, how powerful are you than other vampires?" Dear child, as you're aware, vampires are 10 times faster and stronger than normal humans. As Momo replies, "Yes, I'm aware. I am a thousand times faster and thousand times faster and thousand. I am a thousand times faster and stronger than a normal human. And I'm also 100 times faster and stronger than a normal vampire." As this just scared the hell out of Momo, as Rose continues saying, "The only person that could match me would be my cousin Lucius. No, Lucian would be my cousin Lucian. And as for my mother, as Momo says, yeah, she's the only one that can kill you. I read your book." As she just looks at Momo, saying, how did my diary get from here to Japan?" As Momo just says, "Oh, I have no idea. My mother brought it in one night." Well, my birth mother, that is. I will have to take a look into how my diary got from here to Japan. Now, I'll skip to a few days to when they get to Japan. Mr. and Mrs. Yasuozu have been panicking to it, have been worried about where their daughter Momo went, but not because she can't handle herself, but just because she didn't tell them where they were going. As Rose says to Momo, "Go back to the coven, dear, with Ruby and the others. I'm gonna go find this Toga girl you spoke of. Can you point me to the level E section?" As she goes, "Yeah, it's that way," as she points to her left. As she goes, as Rose goes, "Thank you," and walks up in that direction. Now, we get to when Momo arrived home. She knocks on the door. Mrs. Yasuo opens it and is happy to see her daughter, and then asks, "Who are these guys? Who are the people behind her?" As Ruby speaks up, "Oh, we are vampires, miss." And we are one of the older members of this coven. As Mr. Gojo is saying, that's impossible. The eldest of these covenants are either in hibernation or running the coven themselves. As one of the elders comes to the door, asking is there, stops mid-track, seriously, then sees then stops dead in the I can't English. One of the elders comes to the door, about to ask who's there, when he spots Ruby. And as he's just petrified, as he goes, Ruby, if you're here, then that means Mother is awake? As she simply goes, yes, Damien. Yes, Damien, she is. As Damien asks, where is she? As Ruby then replies saying, oh, she's... As Momo speaks up saying, she's looking for the first ever vampire-human hybrid. As Missy Ojo says, that's insane. She's... As far as we know, she's living in the level E section of the city. As Damien says, the level E's are no chance for Mother. As she asks why. You see, we vampires are 10 times stronger and faster than humans, but Mother is 1,000 times faster and stronger than them, and 100 times faster and stronger than us. As this just makes... As Miss Yoshi just bursts out in laughter saying, that's impossible. She can't be that strong. As Damien says, it's true, I've seen her kill an entire ballroom of people, of vampires who disobeyed her in a millisecond. And they could not react to her in any way, shape, or form. As Ruby says, yes, and as you know, Damien, she is really nice and forgiving as long as you don't do something that goes against the rules in the coven she sets. And she goes, oh, of course, please, Ruby. Come in and make yourselves comfortable. This is your home after all. As Ruby and the others walk in saying, thank you. Now we go to where Rose is at the moment, as we come to multiple dead level E's just leaving a trail wherever she goes. As she spots something weird. Out of all these condemned buildings, one seems to have power. It's very subtle, but she notices it. As she finds her way to the light source, as someone attacks her and catches her off guard, as the blade they were using simply grazes her, causing her to cut a bit. As she sees a blonde-haired girl saying, how did he find me? Are you with the Holy Alliance? As Rose simply says, so you're first ever human vampire hybrid, correct? And she goes, yes I am. Now what do you want? And she goes, my name is Rose Midoriya, Toga, and I am the mother of all vampires. And she goes, that's just a myth. As she goes, lick the blood off the blade and you'll find out if it's just a myth or not. As Toga does do this, and all the stories and myths she heard about Rose were true. And as she just starts, and as she's pissed scared because she's heard that the mother of all vampires is the deadliest of all, and she's practically unkillable. As Rose simply assures her, she's very passive as long as no one makes her mad. As this calms Toga a bit, as she asks, still, what are you doing here? As Rose simply says, child, I'm here to take you to the coven I'm gonna take control of. I'm gonna take control of. As Toga says, what are you talking about? Oh, before I went into hibernation, I controlled the coven that's in Japan, and it's the oldest coven to ever live. And that's all I'm going to be leaving it off. Remember to comment, like, and or subscribe. Turn the post notification bell. And remember, if you have any what if ideas, please put them down in the comment section. And please remember, every subscription with the post notification bell on and a like makes the Shadow Clan grow and becomes more and more powerful. And peace.